in Turicon, you guys were so fucking awesome. We decided to come back for this one fucking show before we go on tour. This one is the title track of the new CD. It's called Visions of Apocalypse. Thank you, Portland. You guys are fucking awesome.
Guitar, vocals.
Balls. Sanford Johnson, bass.
Josh Hannenberg.
Matt Fields, guitar.
Lead guitar.
Lead guitar. Slayer
What do you
solos.
think you're better than everybody else?
Want to have a guitar off?
Yeah, let's do it. Alright. We're from Seattle, Washington. We've been around for a very long time, dating back to 1995. It was originally demo when we put out, we were under the name Mouse Glue back then with demo Weather and Eyes. Changed the name to Scorched afterwards because I didn't want to be named after Lord of the Rings anymore, which is good because the fucking movie came out and I didn't want to be associated with that. So, because I have, visions of the future and stuff. So, our first album was by King Crushed, recorded in 1999, came out in 2000. Sanford here played bass on that album. And then the next album was Scott's Music Conquerors in 2003. Josh joined us. And Matt actually is just in the band. He's been with us about 6 months now.
6-7 months. I was 4 years old.
We recorded with our friend Robbie Houston in his house. He's a guitar player in Skeletor, and he's a really good dude, and good prices because we're really poor, and it's great to have, cheap recording, but he does a good job. It's good to have him. Robbie wanted us to record with the click track and all this stuff, and okay, well and good, but that doesn't work for us because we want to have a live feel, okay? So, we got a lot of the feel of it playing live. That's the main thing, because I think, us playing live is the main thing where you really realize the fucking blitzkrieg that comes down when we feel our fucking presence. You know what I'm saying?
Also, Robbie, he knows our style really well, so he was able to capture it. He knew exactly what the song was going to sound like, exactly how to mix it and everything, so it worked out really well. I think so. Yeah.
Best fucking experience of my life.
Best music fans in the world.
Yeah.
Everyone was so passionate, friendly, receptive. Just met the coolest goddamn people.
No pretension
Oh,
whatsoever.
that's the key thing. I mean, being from Seattle, everybody is an artist. Everyone's full of themselves. And you just meet the most miserable, opinionated people possible. But down
Not the
there,
metal scene.
No, not the metal scene.
Metal scene's good.
It's literally the coldest place on earth. And I'm just talking about the women.
Like, it was just a big party for a weekend, more or less.
Oh,
Just
man.
being out in the woods, drinking beers, smoking joints, laughing, just good people, seeing some killer bands. But one of the key moments of my life was definitely seeing Watain play out in the middle of the forest on the day of Rapture.
Yeah.
I was at the Northwestern Black Circle here on the day of Rapture.
Right on.
Well, you see, we were in a more deadly place because if the Rapture actually came, we would be stuck in a foreign land where we don't know the language or anything. I mean, but that'd be fine anyway because everybody's really friendly down there, and a lot of Corona and Victoria to keep us happy and shit like that. All the shows we play down there were fucking great. Crowds are fucking insane. I fully intend on going back down there at some point. And, I just want to say fucking hails to our war brothers in the light of dark. Eddie, fucking Paco, Minos, Jim. Hola, carnals.
Pure fucking death.
Blood and death!
See? We're working on another album, and we got some new songs. What do you want us to say?
It's like any good sport interview after the game. Well, we're going to do our best. We're going to play as hard as we can, and we're just going to play the next game and do exactly the same damn thing.
I'm going to throw the ball, and I'm going to catch the ball.
I'm going to catch it.
Who
What
cares?
about festivals? Like, are there any specific festivals you guys might like to
Hey,
be
if
part
someone
of.
knows of one, give us a call.
Yeah,
Hey,
How
MDF
about
wants to
the
play, we'll do
70,000
it.
tons of
Rights of
metal?
Darkness 3.
Have you
Hey,
ever heard
hey,
about
hey.
that? Because it's pretty fucking sick.
Which
It's
sounds
like
cool.
3,000 metalheads on a fucking ship for fucking 5 days.
Sounds
it's
like a joke, but
It's not a joke.
Okay, no.
It's one of the. I went this year. It was
No.
literally the best.
Did you
time
see
I've
Marty
Oh, that sounds
flying out
cool.
like the deck
I
of a
did
ship?
see Marty.
Was it during
Yeah.
daylight?
Did Kathy
the
Lee
one-
Gifford sing?
The one that I seen was not during daylight. But I did see Sanctuary and Nevermore, and that was pretty
yeah.
fucking sick.
Okay,
Because that was it.
I wouldn't be able to get Love Boat out of my mind, sorry.
What is Isaac on the ship?
If Isaac's on the ship, I'm there.
Well, you should knock it until you try.
Okay, sure.
All right,
That
my
sounds
thing is
awesome.
give me booze and I'll play anywhere.
We'll play anywhere, actually, so.
I think the
Pay our way there, we will play.
I think
We will not pay to play.
That's true.
I just said like really hard old school trash.
Oh man, we're just. See, this is a combination of our influences. Often I've used the words black and thrash just to save time and effort on description. Because we're big fans of black metal, but we're big fans of old school Motorhead, Venom, Bathory, and you know what? For some odd reason, we all listen to a lot of 70s rock. You
Yeah.
combine that with the old school 80s thrash and the blistering evil of some black metal bands we like a lot. And I notice there's a lot of bands that we fall in very well, but there isn't a specific name for what we do. So I just use black and thrash to keep it easy, you know.
Yeah,
It's
there's
called
also
heavy fucking metal. But
there's also an element of doom that comes into our stuff that a lot of people don't, tend to overlook. And that's cool. We have actually had the notion at some point to do like an all doom show, doom bands, because like where we're from, the doom thing is really big.
But it's
And-
like dudes in flannel shirts with beards on Capitol Hill. So
Yeah, take that for what you will. But, I don't know, it's just a part of us that people overlook. I just thought I'd bring it up because, mainly we're like black thrash, it's fair enough to say.
at practice the other day, Sandy used the term Thin Lizzy on steroids, and I find that to be a tag that fits quite nicely.
Check out our website at
HailScorchedEarth.com, and I want to say hello to Sean McGrath from Impaled and Ghoul for drawing fucking killer artwork for us. Thanks, man.
Book us in your city.
We're all devils in iron.
in Clarksville, Tennessee. Grew up around gospel music and country. I was first introduced to metal through my cousin. Her bedroom basically was like the altar of metal. It was just amazing. Literally, her whole room was covered in posters of like Merciful Fate and, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, King Diamond, and we lived in like a really old house anyway, so it was already creepy, the house itself, but her room made it extra creepy. But I loved it, so through her and through my sister, I fell in love with metal. I think my first album was Ronnie James Dio, or Dio, Holy Diver. I decided to go into broadcasting probably, I'd say 15 years ago. I was like, what are you going to do with yourself? I mean, I've always listened to music. Even as a little kid, I grew up in a place where I had nothing to do but listen to the radio. So I was like, all right, you've got three choices. You can either go into broadcasting, because that's just something that has always been with me, even as a little girl. Cosmetology, because I love makeup. If you can't tell, I got my corpse paint on, and hair. And I also love history. I also love, doing digs, like an archaeologist, but that takes like 8 million years to get into that field. And at that time, I don't know that it was about making money. It was just like, what do I love to do the most? I'm like, well, I do love hair, I do love makeup, but music has been with me from day one. And so I decided to go into broadcasting, because basically all broadcasters do is entertain all fucking day, and they play music really loud, and sometimes they get paid to do it. The first official broadcasting job I ever had was at the college radio station at Mount Hood Community College. It was called X58, and it was literally the most fun. At that point, that was the only experience I'd ever had in broadcasting, and our instructor was cool enough to let me do my own show. So, that was my first taste of doing what I really loved, and that was playing metal for a group. I mean, I listened to it on my cassette player and my record player in my bedroom, but not introducing people to it and playing for a lot of people. So that was my first gig. Metalopolis. Well, as I said, when I went to broadcasting school, my goal was to have a metal show. And I got my first taste at X58. Well, when I got into the real world of broadcasting, it was a little tougher. I had shopped a metal show. The market I'm in is Portland, top 25 market. I had shopped it to every program director that was in this market in hopes of, I didn't care what time it was. I would have done it from 3 to 5 in the morning. I didn't care what day it was. I just wanted to do a metal show. And for 12 years, I kept shopping it, and it wasn't the right moment. Until about 3 years ago, I had read somewhere or found out somehow that they were bringing a metal show to KUFO, which was our rock station in Portland at the time. And in my mind, at that very moment, I was going to be part of that show. I didn't give myself an option. I was going to do whatever it took to get to it. And, Ivan, who he is the original drummer for the band White Zombie, is probably one of the nicest guys that I had met in the industry in a really long time. I mean, he was so open, and he's like, I called him up. I'm like, dude, I've been wanting to do this for years, and he's like, well, why don't you just put a couple of playlists together for me, and I'll see what you come up with, and we'll talk. And that was the end of it. So I did. I put a bunch of playlists together, and I kept calling him, and he would put me on the air periodically to do weird news stories or whatever. And I just kept plugging at it little by little. It was not easy. It took time, and it was frustrating sometimes because I just wanted to get in there and do it. But I had to wait, and eventually I was invited to join Ivan, and I ended up co-hosting Metalopolis and producing it for a couple of years. All right, everybody, welcome to a special edition of Metalopolis. I'm your host, Tricialicious, filling in for Ivan DePrume while he is out on tour with his band Creep. We are live in Portland, Oregon on 101 KUFO. Thank you so much for tuning in. The station that was broadcasting Metalopolis was KUFO, and Ivan was ready to do some different things. You know, he was just ready to tour. He's a drummer. He's a magnificent drummer. That's what he does. And so there came a point to where it was a transition period. You know, it was like, well, Ivan's going to go ahead and go do his thing. And we didn't want Metalopolis, you know, that music to go anywhere, or the show, in a sense, to go anywhere. So I was asked to do a metal show. And of course, I mean, this is what I've been waiting for I feel like my whole life, but it wasn't a goal until about 13, 14 years ago to really have a metal show, because it just didn't exist. And the program director for KUFO at the time, Ditch, he came to me and he said, hey, you know, what do you want to name your show? And I was like, oh, shit. There it started. And actually, the name Tricialicious came from Ditch. We did a whole bunch of soul searching and we came up with a ton of actually really, really cool names. But Tricialicious is just super unique, and it just stuck. I interviewed one of the most amazing people ever. His name is Alan Moses. He's the co-author of a book called Glorious Times. The book is based around the death metal scene, I believe in New York, from 1984 to 1991. And he heard about KUFO going away, and he's like, hey, you know, I do a show on Metal Assault Radio, and I know the owner, and if you would be interested in doing your show with them, I will connect you guys. And that's how we got started. He introduced me to the owner at the time, Doug Burgess, and I've been going strong ever since. I would return to broadcast. I would continue to do Metal Assault Radio, but under the right conditions, I would. The local metal scene in Portland, Oregon is thriving and well. You know, I try to keep in contact with as many people as I can. I try to go to as many local shows that I can. I have a local segment on my show called The Foundry, which I'm still trying to work on. But the idea behind The Foundry is that it's for local and or unsigned bands. So, you know, if your band has some stuff and you're trying to push it, send it my way. You can email it to me at metalicious777@gmail.com. I'm always looking. I know a lot of bands here. I try to, like I said, make it out to as many local shows as I can, give them as much support as I can, because they share the same passion that I do. We just love the music. And you know, in the United States, I feel like there's a lot of room for growth, you know, as far as that genre of music is concerned, and I would like to help with that. Oh, shit, you would ask me that, right? Crap! There are several, and these are not necessarily local bands or unsigned bands, but they're just bands from this area. For sure, Nevermore, one of my all-time favorite bands. I'm just really bummed about the news on those guys, but it is what it is, and they're all talented. I know that they'll be moving on to bigger and better things, but, you know, Nevermore, of course. Ceremonial Castings, you know, they're a local band from Washington, and they're pretty awesome. Inquisition, you know, who currently reside in Washington. There are a lot of local bands. It's hard to pinpoint one. There are several. And those three just off the top of my head. Well, I'd like to be masturbating. I'm sure I can fit that in there somewhere in between all the work that I'm going to be doing. Professionally, in 5 years, I would still love to continue to do my show on Metal Assault Radio, and maybe the show be syndicated in a sense. You know, syndicated to broadcast would be great. I would love to do that, and only that. You know, tour, travel, report. That is what I would love to do professionally. Personally, I want to continue to support our local metal scene, and on a national level also, I just want to, I don't know what it is. I'm like, what is it about me that makes me love metal so much that I would devote all of my time, if I could, to supporting it and promoting it and learning about it. You know, that's all I want to do, both professionally and personally. As long as it's with metal, that's what I want to do. You can find Metalicious on metalassaultradio.com every Saturday night from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time. If you want to connect with me, you can email me at metalicious777@gmail.com. And also, coming up in the works, you'll be able to hear Metalicious on Skull Records Radio. So, same night, same time, Saturday night, 10 p.m. to midnight, Pacific Standard Time. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for logging on to metalassaultradio.com every Saturday night. I truly appreciate the support. I know the bands appreciate the support. Without you, we would have nothing. You guys fucking rock!